Well, I thought today, because of the response I've been getting from people, is that I would talk more about the basic principles of the science of mind. And so I'm going to start today with the principle of oneness. That's right, oneness. Because oneness is the very basis of all that we talk about. You see, science of mind is a philosophy that combines spiritual principles with the insights of science and the opinions of philosophy to provide a comprehensive understanding of life and human experience. Ernest Holmes, when he wrote The Science of Mind, studied all of the world religions. He studied philosophy from every aspect, and he studied the science of his day. And then what he did is he assimilated all of these into a text that is a practical way of living, to give you, to give me, to give everyone an understanding of life and the human experience that we create. Science of mind is a philosophy that emphasizes the power of the mind and the interconnectedness of all of life. Think about that. The power of the mind. Realize that the greatest discovery that a human has ever made is that they can think. And then follow that up with the discovery that your thoughts create. And then follow that up with the discovery that you're part of the allness, of the wholeness, of the oneness, of the infinite, and that when you connect to that power, you understand that you are using divine wisdom, and it's there for you in every moment of every day. And so what we're going to talk today is about the first concept, the first principle of science of mind, and that is oneness. The science of mind teaches that there is a unified and interconnected field of consciousness that includes all of life. So this unified and interconnected field of consciousness is what quantum physicists call the quantum field. It's total pure consciousness. It's where everything exists. So if there is an infinite, which is the basis of what we teach, there's nothing other than it. So the infinite includes everything. It includes every planet, every star, every galaxy, every solar system, every animal, every plant, every insect, every living being, everything. It's created out of it. Don't you love the idea when you hear people say, we're created out of stardust? Well, yeah, so is everything created out of us, because there is a unified and interconnectedness of all things, of all life. Oneness means that all of life is interconnected and everything is an integral part of the whole. So if you follow that through and you start with the very basic premise that there is an infinite, well, if there's an infinite, the only thing that it could have created anything out of was itself, because there's nothing other than it. So when it created everything, it created out of itself. And then, knowing there's only one mind, the mind in which you're aware of, the mind which you are using, must be an aspect of the infinite mind. Therefore, every living being, everything is a part of the whole. So we are never separate from this infinite intelligence. We are never separate from total infinite consciousness. It is the fact that we have a body and we have an ego that we think that life is a one-sided thing, and it's not. Life is interconnected. And you and I, while we appear to be separate, at the base of everything that we are all part of the oneness. You see, it is in our realization that we are one with infinite intelligence that we set ourselves free from the illusions of the ego and we find peace in knowing our truth. That's right. Just think, if all you knew you were this body and this ego, you would be in prison. You would be imprisoned by the physical limitations of the body and whatever limited boundaries your ego has created for you. But when you understand that you are a part of infinite consciousness, you realize you have a body and you have a mind and ego, but you are so much more than that. And the body and the ego are there for you to experience life, as much life as you can imagine. And the truth of the matter is, you have no limitation. And so when you can put the body and the ego into perspective, and you can be in the interconnectedness with the one mind, you become the observer. So you don't see a one-sided life. You see a life from way above, where you see that everything in life is always in perfect balance. And guess what? Perfect balance is the state of love. It's the state of the divine. You see, it is our relationship with the infinite that determines if we are conscious that we are a powerful creator, or are we unconsciously affirming the role of a victim? See, it all comes back to what we believe about who we are, where we came from, and what is our purpose. In Science of Mind, we teach there is one. And from the one, we're created. And we're part of that one. And because we're created out of the one, which is a creator, we are creators. And we have that power to create in our world. And we do that through the use of our mind. We do that because we understand that our beliefs create our life experience. If we're not aware of that, then we're saying that life happens to us instead of life happening through us. And when we believe that life happens to us, we are victims. I've been studying the science of mind for going on a quarter of a century. And there are times I'm a very conscious creator. I know that I'm a part of the infinite. And there are times I fall back into the ego, into the body, and I'm unconscious, and I have a perception that times I'm a victim. And the way I get myself out of that is I go into meditation, and I let go of the body, I let go of the ego, and I center into the idea of oneness. I recreate my awareness of my connection to the infinite power and presence. You see, oneness is the ultimate state of love. It is here in oneness that all healing takes place, that all abundance is realized. And it is from this state of consciousness that we open ourselves up to infinite wisdom, and we can become a conscious creator of our life experience. But it's only when we come to the realization that we're one with it. And in the oneness, we are actually love expressing. And when we know that, we realize it. And then from this state of consciousness, we understand that the power to create our lives is right where we are. We're not seeking anything outside of us to create that power. We're not asking a being, a divine, infinite being greater than us to give us what we want. No, we don't do that in Science of Mind. We understand our belief creates. It's not another being, it's our belief. There's a law, it automatically responds to us. And we'll be talking about that at another time. But right now, I'm bringing into the aspect oneness, that there is only one life, one mind, one power, one presence, and you and I are expressions of it. It is my experience that the way we become aware of our interconnectedness to all of life is through the practice of meditation and mindful living. These are two incredibly important spiritual practices. Meditation allows you to slow your mind down, to stop and release your attachment to thoughts, to release your attachment to body. The simplest form of meditation is to focus on the breath. And you know where you experience the divine, the infinite? Between the inhale and the exhale, between thoughts, when there is no judgment, there is no analysis. And then there's mindful living. Have you set an intention that when you're living, that everything around you is life and everything around you is interacting with you? You see, that's mindful living. And there's a difference. Mindful is conscious living. It's consciously choosing to live out of a state of love. And you understand that state of love through the act of meditation. Meditation is the single most important spiritual practice. And you can do these practices regardless if you have a religious belief or you don't. You will receive the benefits simply because there's power in what you do. You see, the best way, the easiest way I can describe it is that we're like a drop of water in the ocean. And while we're not the ocean, we do, as a single drop, contain all the attributes and properties of the ocean. So I am a drop of consciousness in infinite consciousness. And all the creative aspects of consciousness are right where I am. Another way to look at this is that I am a wave. And my thoughts create the type of wave I am on the ocean. I can be a soft, very gentle wave. I can become a tsunami. I can be anything in between. But yet, even though I'm that wave, at the level above the level of the surface, I look like a wave. Below the level of surface, I'm back in oneness. I'm always connected. And guess what? Below the surface of the wave, I'm connected to every other wave. So that's how we're connected to everyone else on the planet. We're all part of the one consciousness. So if we could get and grasp that, we could start to live with kindness toward one another because we understand that we're all from the same family and we're all one. And in that oneness, we get to experience love. You see, there is only one. It is infinite. It is all-knowing. It is all-powerful. It is everywhere present. It has always been and always will be. And you and I and everyone else is a unique part of it. This is the basis of everything we teach in Science of Mind. And in the next coming talks, we're going to explore the other aspects of the Science of Mind so that you can get a better grasp on how you can claim your power, your individual right to create the life of your dreams.